Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. In this week's vlog, I take you to my favorite art store, my favorite plant store, and then share with you my favorite art supply. That's kind of the theme of this vlog this week. I did some drawing, some cooking, and yeah, let's get started. So last Sunday I went to my local art store and I wasn't really looking to buy anything in particular except maybe an alternative to a micron pens. Micron pens, they're made by Sakura, and they've been my favorite pens to work with when I work in ink. That's something I started using, gosh, maybe 10 years ago. So I wanted to show you what I got at the art store. So first I got a non-photo blue pencil. I kind of wanted to try. It's supposed to not show through when you take a picture, so you could do a sketching with a non-photo blue pencil and then ink your drawing, say, and then you don't need to erase the blue because if you scan it, supposedly it's not supposed to show. Like if you wanted to do a digital work, I always start my digital stuff in, like on paper. So I just thought I would try it. I don't know if it works. And then I got a warm gray colored pencils because I don't have any. And I chose a polychromos. Now with the pens, so I got 4 pens. I got another micron pens because you never can have enough. I got this gel pen. I need to put my glasses on for this. This gel pen from Pentel. It's a 0.05 millimeter point. So it should be, it's really fine. And I think that will be a great tool to use in my sketchbooks especially. So I wanted to really compare those. I also got a pen from Stradler, and that's a 0.3, so it's a little bigger than the 0.5. And it looks like a felted point. So similar to the micron, just bigger. And I have microns this size, I think, 0.3. Yeah, that I could compare with. Then I bought a Pilot pen, also a felt point. I really like the feel of it. It's a little bigger. I don't know what size this would be, but that might be just like a, it's kind of like a standard pen. So yeah, I thought I would draw a little something in my sketchbook using those pens and see how they compare. Unfinished drawing. We'll start a new page. So I have to say, out of these 4 pens, the micron pens is still my favorite pen to use. You can really achieve fine line. But also, I don't know, I like the way it glides on the paper. This glides really nice on paper, but I don't think the ink is archival ink. So I would definitely keep using micron pens, especially for final work. Since it's archival ink, it won't fade over time. And then, I mean, these 3 for me would be more pens I would use in my sketchbook or just to doodle. Yeah, they're nice, but this remains my favorite. It's now Thursday, February 9th. Today was a super gloomy day. We had heavy rain this morning, and it rained all day, and I think it snowed. I just finished working maybe an hour ago, and yeah, it's already dark outside. I find it really challenging to, want to pick up the camera, or my phone in this case, to make a video to film after work because I'm already tired. You can probably see I look super tired. But I'm enjoying, this journey on YouTube. I think it's pretty fun. But not always, the first thing I want to do when I get off of work. Especially on a day like this when everything gets dark super early and it's already been super gloomy all day. But I think I'm gonna have some dinner and then I might just watch a couple of videos on YouTube, and then I want to draw some more in my sketchbook. I'm trying to post more YouTube shorts in addition to my regular weekly video, and I figured drawing in my sketchbook would be a nice video, a nice thing to share, because it kind of gives you also a little bit of a behind the scenes, and down the line I'll probably have some sketchbook tours, but of course I have to get in the habit of drawing in my sketchbook first, which is kind of the point. It's like a double challenge, posting more YouTube shorts and getting really more in the habit of drawing in my sketchbook, possibly daily, or at least 5 times a week. So I might not share everything just right away on the shorts, but I'm trying to just share as much as I can, and yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling now, so I'm going to make dinner and then I'll see you later when I start drawing in my sketchbook. And yes, I'm wearing the same sweater as I was yesterday. I like wearing green. I'm not making anything fancy, just some zucchini, and I'm having just a little bit of pasta with that. I'm gonna have some of those. I'm vegetarian mostly, so, and at some point I probably would like to go completely vegan, but I think I like cheese too much. So I've got my sketchbook. I like to go on Pinterest to get some reference photos. Today I wanted to draw a begonia maculata. So I found a picture on Pinterest. I like that plant. I actually almost bought it this weekend. Then I went for Plea instead, but I like that it's fun, there's a lot of contrast with the green leaves and the white polka dots. And then the back of the leaves are red, which also provides contrast. So I think it would be fun to draw that using color pencils. So recently someone asked me to share what my favorite art supplies are. So here's a display of most of my art supplies. Also, I have some more, but like pencils and stuff that didn't fit all on here. But for the most part, these are supplies I've used in the past and I use currently. So currently what I use the most are pencils. For my sketches, I like those Staedtler pencils. I use the 2H and 4H the most for like a very thin mark on the paper, especially if I'm going to use colored pencils. I also love mechanical pencils if I'm going to work in graphite. I have mechanical pencils with different types of lead. I have 4B, 4H, and 2B, and then I have HB as well. I also have a lot of HB pencils. And when it comes to erasers, I love kneaded eraser. This one is from Prismacolor, but you can find generic ones. They're really great because they don't leave a residue on the paper. And also you can kind of mold them to a certain shape if you need like a really thin eraser. I like that. I also really like this Faber-Castell eraser because it doesn't leave a lot of residue. And if I have any residue, I like to use, you can use like a brush. I like to use a feather to brush my paper because it's really soft and it doesn't leave any marks on the paper. If I did it with my hand, most likely I would smudge the paper, so I try not to do that. I always use a feather. And those are feathers I found on the beach nearby by the lake. Let's see. When it comes to pencil sharpener, my favorite is just very simple. Pencil sharpener I bought a while ago. I don't remember what brand this is. I have this Faber-Castell pencil sharpener, which I don't love because it can get really messy, but you have three options, three types of size of pencil you can sharpen, which is kind of nice. I also have a mechanical sharpener, which I also don't use very often anymore. Then this supply, my favorite art supply right now are those Caran d'Ache colored pencils. They are really high quality pencils, quite expensive actually, so it's kind of an investment. But it's really worth it. They're highly pigmented and pretty smooth on the paper. I also really love polychromos colored pencils, which those are from Faber-Castell. They're also a bit more on the expensive side, but they're really smooth. I really enjoy those. And then my other really favorite art supply that I've used for many years now are those pens from Sakura. They're micron pens. I have a lot of black ones, but I have some colored ones. And I use them whenever I do a black and white drawing. There's different type of line. You can have a really, really fine line at 005, which would be the one I use the most because you can really add a lot of details to your drawing. And what I love about those also is that they are archival ink, so they won't fade. And okay, and then other supplies I've played around with or I haven't used in a while are, I have some markers here, but those are more for artists who do like comics and things, and that's not really my jam, so I played around with them. I've tried them, but I wouldn't say I like them that much. Recently I bought some Caran d'Ache pastels that also, if you add water, it kind of serves as watercolor, and those are really, really nice. I think I will play more with those. I really like them. When it comes to watercolor, I have some classic watercolor. This is just like a generic, so not particularly high quality, but fun to play with. I have some watercolor in tubes. This is by Cotman, and those are good quality. I also have a little watercolor palette. I think it's Winsor and what? I can't remember. Winsor and Newton. Duh. Little set that you can take with you anywhere, which is kind of fun. So I've played around with that too in the past. I feel like for me, watercolor I think is really difficult. So I would definitely need to either take more classes and practice more. But right now I'm more focused on pencils, colored pencils, and still using my micron pens when I work in black and white. I also have played around with ink, but haven't done that in a long time. I also like drawing in white on black paper, so I have a bunch of white pens. I have dry pastels, which I've used as a complement to colored pencils when I did some cat portraits a couple years ago, because you could cover a white surface of color, like say the fur, and like a background, like the first layer of the fur, you could use a pastel and then go over with colored pencils for the details. And then last but not least, I've enjoyed using this acrylic gouache. They have a lot of fun colors, including neon pink, which I love. So I've played around with those, not recently, but I'll probably revisit using those. So yeah, and then when it comes to paper, I like to use the Strathmore colored pencils. I've used a lot of the Canson mixed media whenever I used even the ink pen or the colored pencils, or both. It's kind of good for everything, I would say, especially dry media like colored pencils or even pastels. Or I've used some of this tone gray paper before. I was kind of, which I thought was great for using pastels and colored pencils. Yeah, so I haven't done a lot in this, but it's kind of fun. And then the arches, or arch I should say, paper, which is for watercolor, classic paper. Very costly, but really beautiful paper, very smooth. And then the last art supply, I would say, it's not like an art supply per se, but I also do a lot of work on my iPad using the app Procreate. I really love Procreate. So these are my favorite art supplies at the moment. Let me know in the comments, what are your favorite supplies? If you are an artist, or if you just like to create art on your spare time. Also, let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, so I'm going to end the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you watched till the end. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, share the video with your friends, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye!